the entire session that I'm here to cover is very simple. It's why only a few people. I've personally generated over 36 million in terms of business revenue, which means I personally generate on it. So I go and sell and I do all this kind of thing. And of course, there's maybe millions of dollars. So why some people succeed to the tune of multi-millions, but the majority of people don't achieve anywhere close to their full potential. And so when we attend and come to this co-living property investment journey, we want to achieve our potential. We want to reach financial freedom and do exceptionally well. Why do some people do really, really well, but most people do not? I want to review the reason today, the solution today, so that this morning session can be very, very useful. Okay, so I'm going to give you both the reason and the solution. We're going to cover all of these. It's going to be very useful. There are two big reasons, and of course, within these two big reasons, there are subdivided other things I want to cover with you. Okay, so I clearly want you to be in the first category where you succeed to the tune of multi-millions. Who wants that? Type me inside the chat if that's what you want. Because actually, if you don't want to succeed, then today quite waste time. Okay, please type me inside the chat if you would love to succeed to the tune of multi-millions. Wow, okay, very good. Some of you try this. Excellent. Okay, excellent. But I just want to cover very, very briefly why you should listen to me. This is the shortest part of this presentation because actually my favorite thing is to share ideas that work for people. My least favorite part is to talk about myself, but I also recognize some of you have not heard of me before, so in the spirit of making sure that I'm worth listening to, I just quickly share with you why you should listen to me. We'll breeze through this in less than 5 minutes, and then we'll get to the core and the meat of what we want to cover. Okay, so first and foremost, if you ask me, Mel, what do you do, which a lot of people do, ask me one sentence, what do you do? Very simple. I coach behind the scenes many of most successful speakers, coaches, sales teams, financial advisor leaders, real estate leaders in the whole of Asia. So basically, the people who are top 1 to top 5, a large number of them, they are my students. I've coached them before, etc. In fact, yesterday I coached one who was a top in Prudential and another one top in another place. Basically, like I just have an opportunity to coach these people every single day. And many 8-figure companies that you know, here are some that allow me to share. Sometimes I coach these people, they don't want me to tell other people that I help them. So NDA prevents me from showing the picture. But here are some that I've shared. This is the number 1 team in the whole of AIA Singapore. So there are 400 teams in AIA. This is the number 1 team. I took them 5 years ago from complete unknowns. Right now, they're dominating. Their team is called Odyssey. I've trained them every single year for the last five years. So I have produced a winning team. Among these are one I can show. Other ones cannot. So if you guys have heard of Sean and Next Level, I've trained his team from 2016. Recently, just in last session with his team in 2024 in W Hotel about a month ago. So I trained the people. This was me training their team there. I've spoken to their big community. This was at Marina Bay Sands. Last year, they gave me close to 1,000 people and I was a headline for basically 2 full days. Okay, so if you're in a property space, clearly you have heard of the I Quadrant before. I've trained their leadership team before. I've spoken to their community before. I've helped their people. I've helped 8V before. Some of you might know now they don't do their investments, but this was the one that I created a $25 million coaching business together with Ken. And I've helped their community before and trained their leadership team before. If you've heard of Colin Xiao and the people that do trading, I've also helped his community before. And so basically all these are 8-figure companies and every single one of them, they find me out basically. Okay, and when I go to Malaysia, the best Chinese speakers, big time influencers, people with millions of subscribers, they're all here. This is me training them on how to be really, really good in their business. And here are some of the things that I've done. So I'm also the mentor, business coach for many of the most famous names in Asia. So these are people who are really top of their game. This is my good friend who sold his business for 30 mil. Whether you're marketers, your speakers, your coaches, your famous people, then most of them they are my friends or they have come to me for help before. Okay, so I built myself a business. So it's not just I coach people, I built myself a business generated over 36 million in business revenue so far. So that has actually made me a lot of money, which is pretty good. Okay, at the same time, I also spent in the last 2.5 years 500K of my own money traveling the whole world to learn from 9-figure, 10-figure people from New Zealand all the way to UK, Europe to US, and also Olympic coaches also. Because I am just not satisfied with whatever I've done so far. I think it's pretty cool, but I also want to go and learn from top people some more. So this is my entire worldwide journey, all the way from New Zealand to the UK to the US, to learn from people that are doing way better than myself, including some Asian people. This guy has 127 million a year business, so I also go and learn from him also. So these are people around the world who are the very best, whether they are in sports, whether they're in fighting, whether they're in athletics, whether they are in marketing, in business. I went to learn from them also. And finally, I also spent time many years with a mentor to Tony Robbins and Robert Kiyosaki, the great Marshall Thurber. If you read Rich Dad Poor Dad before, and this is the inspiration behind Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad. Okay, so I also spent a lot of time in Marshall in his house in Utah in the US. like absorb a lot of things also. Okay, so we are almost done. Okay, we are almost done here. So we got this is what Marshall is, Coach Tony, Robert Kiyosaki, many of the big names they've had before. Here's what he has to say about me. Oh wait, hold on, let me just make sure they got sound. Okay.
What can we say about Melvin, huh?
Well, he's an extraordinary human being. He's cooking and doing everything positive. He genuinely wants the world to work. I think if you can follow Melvin's lead and feel the passion that he has, that's the space we want you to be in.
Okay, so it's really cool for a legend like Marshall to have nice things to say about me, and of course I've added value to people, to billionaires. They've had billionaire Joe Biden, one of the richest people in New York. This is the final one, right? No more testimony, right? This is the final one, and here's what he had to say about me.
I thank you, Melvin, for your commitment to improving everybody's life in your network, and you're doing just a great job. And so again, I feel honored and grateful to be on this call, and thank you for adding value to my day.
Okay, so here are some of the things that I've done. So I don't share this to you to impress you. Actually, I don't like talking that much about myself, because the remainder of the time is stuff that I have to share with you. But I just want to cover that so it makes me worthwhile listening to. Okay, worthwhile listening. Saturday morning, it's going to be worthwhile. Okay, so in short, when people want to achieve and win big, they come in, they find me to help them. Okay, no more about Melvin already. So here's what I can do this entire morning. I want to review to you why in my 17 years of experience, and I work 7 days a week, not because I have to, but because I love to. And so in my 17 years of experience around the entire world, here's what I noticed: why people succeed, why people don't. And I can cover that with you today. In fact, I can even give you the ideas, the solutions, the concepts behind how you can break through. But here's what I cannot do. I need to mention, I cannot personally, individually help you solve your problem. Why? Because you are watching me for 45 minutes behind a screen. So unless I have some time, a longer amount of time with you where I can work with you, walk you through some of the processes, today is very interesting ideas and concepts, but it won't have as much in-depth application also, because those things require more work. Is that okay? Why do some people succeed to the tune of millions of dollars, but yet most people never achieve their full potential? Okay, here is the first big secret from my 17 years of experience, having done this for a very long time. The number one reason why. So I have two big secrets I want to share with you. But the first one, I can tell you, the reason is very, very simple. Because people love to ask me, Melvin, does this work? Does co-living work? Does property investment work? Does whatever vehicle, does e-commerce or trading, like marketing or business work? And here's the secret. The secret is everything works. I have seen people succeed in every single thing. However, majority of people don't work. They don't make it work, right? Because it's not the vehicle that fails. It is them that fails. You see, for every single vehicle, it only works, right, if it fits you. If you have a self-understanding to the degree you understand what is my lifestyle, what is my personality, what kind of time period, what kind of stage of life am I in, how much time, energy, and effort do I have, how much capital do I have, does this match where I am right now in life? If you find a vehicle that fits who you are and it matches beautifully, then you are able to make it work. However, what most people do is their lack of self-understanding means that they just watch somebody else, they copy someone else, and they copy what someone else is doing in terms of a vehicle that works for them, whichever vehicle it is. They copy that person and then they go into it. However, very quickly they find out whatever they have chosen, whatever vehicle, so you must imagine, right? Can a motorcycle get you to your place? Can. Can a boat get you to your place? Can. Can a plane get you to your place? Can. Can a car get you to your place? Can. But the most important question is, does it fit you? Does it fit your personality? Does it fit your lifestyle? Does it fit who you are? Does it fit where you are in life right now? Does it fit your time frame for success? Some of us are okay with a longer time frame. Some of us are okay with a shorter time frame. Does it fit who you are? And so for most people, there is a complete lack of self-awareness, self-understanding. And so when you have lack of self-awareness and self-understanding, very frequently you will choose a vehicle that doesn't work for you. And then of course, when you choose a vehicle that doesn't work for you because you have no idea of your strengths, your weaknesses, who you are as a person, then it's a very high chance that this particular vehicle and you are not a good match, are not a good fit. Which means then you don't make money with the vehicle, and of course most of people don't blame themselves. They don't blame their lack of self-understanding and self-awareness. They say, this particular thing don't work. No, it works for other people. I have seen people make money with every single vehicle, every single one, whatever you can think of. But oftentimes, the ones that make it work, their core personality, their strengths, their weaknesses, who they are, their desires, their time frame matches that vehicle perfectly. And that's why they make it work. It's kind of like, you have a certain type of body, you sit on this particular type of vehicle, it's a very comfy fit. You and the vehicle are a good fit, you can go very far. Let's say you have a certain body type that doesn't fit this kind of vehicle, you sit inside, you're very uncomfortable and it doesn't work for you. And so what I preach and realize these days is that before we enter any form of investment vehicle, business vehicle, money-making vehicle, is that the first key is self-understanding. The first key is self-awareness. Is the realization, who am I? Can everyone type section? Who am I? What are my strengths and weaknesses? How much capital do I have? How long am I going to persist on this fall? My self-understanding, my self-awareness, and knowing that I can adjust my investments, adjust my businesses, adjust whatever I do to fit my personality, my expectations, my goals, and my desires. Before I continue, does this make sense to people? If yes, can you type yes inside the chat? And so this is very new. This is not new to a lot of people, because most of the time they attend sales presentations, and when you attend sales presentations, the person on stage, usually if they are not lying, some of them are genuinely successful, and they will of course tell you that their investment or business vehicle is the best in the world. Am I correct? Right? They all say it. Well, what they are really saying is that they have found an investment vehicle that is the best for them. But whether the best for you, different story. Okay, different story. So what you should do, and what I would love more time for all of us to do, is we are not in the business of choosing which best investment or business vehicle is the best. They all work. We are in the business of realizing ourselves, what our strengths, our desires, who we are. And when we do that, we can very, very clearly choose vehicles or businesses or whatever we choose to that work to our strengths and work to our desires that are good fit. And then when we do that, then mysteriously everything we touch turns to gold. If you are not self-aware, that everything you touch dies. Okay, can you type yes in the chat if you understand this before I move on to the next point, which is why whatever work that I love to do with you guys, David I told Lionel I love to see you guys again after this as well. And so a lot of work that I want to do with you guys is not in the area of just teach. It's in the area of self-awareness, self-understanding. Who am I? How much time frame? Why also? Let me explain to you, and I want you to write this down inside your notes. Stage of life. When people are at different stages of life, different ages, different places in life, then the things that are important to them, the things that they can do, the things that they have time and energy for are different. Let's suppose you're a young person right now, you're single, you're early 20s, what do you not have? You might not have a lot of capital. What do you have? A lot of energy and time. So you might want to pick a vehicle that plays to your strengths and eliminates your weakness. But let's suppose you're 35, 40, 45 now. Now what do you have more than a young person? Perhaps more capital. What do you have less? Energy and time, because you might have a job, you might have kids, you might have a spouse. And so you got to pick a vehicle that works in that way for you. Why wouldn't, when you pick a vehicle that requires too much time and energy, then you will fail. So it's very critical that we have self-awareness and self-understanding, and we play to our strengths. So that's the first big secret. It's not what works, it's who am I. My self-understanding allows me to pick things that work for my personality and my lifestyle and my stage of life. And when I understand that, then everything works. Okay, so that's the first big secret. Here's the second part. Every time I talk to people in the investment space, apart from self-awareness, the second part is something to do with the stuff that is going on here. Very, very few people talk about it in the investment business space, whether it's property or whichever investment vehicle they choose. So a lot of people say, hey, you know what, Mel, or whoever the trader is, if I had more opportunities, or if I had more money, and if I had more skills, I confirm will make the investment work. Now, that is true, but I've also seen people where, whichever organization they are, they teach a lot of skill, teach them all the skills in the world. Some of them might have money as well. And some of them even provide the opportunities and deals also. But in the face of money, have, deals have, skills also have, some of people find a mysterious way to not take any action, which is then very, very confusing. How come you got money, you got skills, you got opportunities, but there seems to be a mental block. There seems to be a jamming thing, just they can't seem to make it work. Why is that so? And I also noticed this in my 17 years that 3 people can take the same property blind class. Then they can be in the same community, even have Ernie as the mentor also, but then have very, very different results. So why? Is it because they never learned the skill? Ernie teach some people, never teach other people? Maybe not. Is it opportunities? Maybe not. So what exactly is going on? Is the difference external? Cannot be the same community, same mentor. learn the same class, etc. So why exactly is there a difference? So maybe the answer is the difference is not external, it is internal. Something going on inside their brain that causes a difference. And so I've noticed this before in other organizations. Even in business, 3 people take the same class, 1 person does something, some people do nothing, some people do the opposite. The same for investment and so. So I kind of noticed this. Why exactly do people all experience the same thing, right? But they have very different results. Clearly something is going on here. So the answer is something internal, something mental. Is either causing success for the people that have no blocks. For some people, they're causing mediocrity because they do nothing. Or for some people, there's self-sabotaging and they fail. So there's something internal going on. And I kind of realized that the word is mindset. Can anyone type inside the chat mindset really quickly? The word is mindset, right? And so this is not your first time you heard about the word mindset before. Every time people hear about mindset, they think, it's positive thinking. Very fluffy. I hear before, what is this bullshit? Okay, so for the first time ever this morning, I actually want to define what a mindset is for you. Because a mindset is not positive thinking. A mindset is not just like, I think of a car, law of attraction, I think of a car, I get a car. No, a mindset is not just telling yourself affirmations, I am handsome, I am beautiful, I am rich. That's not a mindset. Here is what a mindset is. So if you want, you can take picture, you can take screenshot, you can write down. A mindset is made up of different things. Okay, usually I cover 5, but for this morning, I'll just take 3 of them and cover. The first idea of mindset, especially with regards to your investment and business success, is the attitude you have towards money and wealth. Namely, if you have a conflicting attitude towards money and wealth, which means on one side you want money and wealth, on another side you might think money and wealth is not very good, then you are self-sabotaging and it's very hard for you and to have a proper mindset to attract wealth and to keep wealth also. So the first key of mindset is attitude towards money and wealth. Then the second one is the subconscious mental models you use to think and make decisions. Literally, I was having a conversation yesterday with my friend, and then we have a one business peer that we know about. And in business, every day you have to make decisions. You have to decide whether you want to stay on in the business or whether you want to pursue another opportunities. We have a friend, I don't want to mention his name. We call him the king of making bad decisions. But literally, this friend is now in 2 million of debt. And by the way, not rupiah, not ringgit, sing. And this person, 2-3 years ago, was sitting prim and proper, making an easy mid-6 figure a year. But then, I also do not know. Actually, if we just stay there and just continue, he'll be fine. But unfortunately, this friend got very self-sabotaging, poor mental models of decision. He gave up the mid-6 figure, go and do other weird things, and today he finds himself in 2 million of debt, having to work at a 3K job desperately to try to pay off. Of course, he can never pay it off. And we were reflecting upon his poor decision making. And so when you make poor decisions, then afterwards, no matter whether I give you opportunities, deals, or money, right, you will find a way to screw it up. And so decision making is a critical component of mindset. The next one is the way you view yourself and what you believe is possible for you. If you view yourself in a very elevated way and you feel like, this big opportunity, this was me. I'm the man for big opportunities or the woman for big opportunities, you'll take it. But if there's a big opportunity but you see yourself very small and you think, this kind of thing, I cannot do it, then you will find a way to not do that opportunity, not because you cannot, not because it wouldn't work for you, but because you don't feel deserving of it. Okay, there are other elements that if I had longer time that I'll share with you, include self-management also, limiting beliefs also, right? But for today, I want to cover these 3 also. Okay, so these 3 is what makes up mindset. So for the people that are successful, good attitude towards wealth. They make proper decisions. They view themselves powerfully, which means when a chance comes, they take it. For the people that don't succeed, they have a very bad attitude or conflicting attitude towards wealth. They make poor decisions and they see themselves very, very small, and hence they either avoid opportunities or when they take on, they sabotage. And so you start to realize this. I'll give you more examples also. Okay, now the next thing I kind of ask also is, do the top people work on their mindset, or is it just a natural born thing? Isn't it the beautiful question, nature versus nurture? Is it I just born like this, then okay, then I just got to be like this forever? Is it true? No. If you go and take a look at it, right, winners work not just on their skills, but they work on their mindset. So this is Tom Brady, greatest American football player. He works with this guy on his mental game, not just his football throwing game, not just his muscle, not just his diet, but also his mental game. Kobe Bryant worked together with Tim Grover on his mental game. Michael Phelps literally hired a lot of therapists to help him visualize mental game, visualize how he can stay calm during pressure. One of the Olympics, water entered his goggles straight away. A lot of people, if they didn't have the mental game, they would panic. But Michael stayed even calmer, then he break record. So the tough situation bring out the best in him. Man, the game, this is a world-class UFC fighter, right? This kind of martial arts one. And this is the guy, his name is Dave Wood, who I actually went to New Zealand and paid a lot of money to study with. The UFC fighter works on his mental game. That's why I went all the way to learn. So all the winners, every single one of them recognize that skill set is important, but mental game is really, really important. So is it applicable in the world of investment, business, finance, property, whatever kind of thing you do? I just give you two. Actually, I can put a lot of testimonials here, but you can go and see it, right? That people talk about investment psychology is more important. Okay, it's super important that this is someone that's very, very successful as an investor. Here's Warren Buffett. If you cannot control your emotions, you cannot control your money. All the top people recognize that mental, emotional game very critical. It's always the lower level people that just think, I have more money, I learn more skill can already. So it's mental and emotional. Okay, so it can be programmed, it can be learned. In fact, all these people are reprogramming their minds. So, and I only realize that the top people are the ones that do it. The average people are just like, okay, this is just my mindset. It doesn't work, doesn't matter. It's just like this. So we're here today to talk about mental and emotional control. How can we do it? Now, what is the enemy? Why do we need to talk about this? Very simple. The big problem is that every single one of us, we have a mindset right now, and I call it 1.0. Can everyone type inside the chat 1.0? Everyone type inside the chat 1.0. So you have a mindset right now, is 1.0. And the problem with your 1.0 mindset now is not that you are not an intelligent person. In fact, I believe all of us are very smart people. But right now, we have all been programmed emotionally and mentally with a 1.0 mindset, and the programming, number one, is not by us. When you were young, you were massively influenced by your parents, by school, by society, the people around you. They didn't know your current goals. They didn't know what you want to achieve in life. In fact, many of them pass on their limiting beliefs, their weird thinking all to you, and they program it inside you. And so when you find yourself right now, and so it's called default, right? It's kind of like phone with the default setting. You got programmed by that. Because when you were young, you cannot say, hey, sorry, this one sounds very limited thinking. Hey, this one scarcity thinking. No, whatever they tell you, you believe as true. And a lot of their thinking and beliefs might not be helpful and supportive for your goals and your dreams today. So your default thinking you have right now, very this moment as you look at the screen, number one, a lot of it is not created by you. It's not designed by you. It's not searched out by you. It's not approved by you. People just pump it inside your brain. Number two, a lot of it is not designed for you to succeed. Like I say, when you were young, you never go and tell the people around you, hey, here are my goals. Can you only tell me the things that will support my goals? No, they just tell you all their weird beliefs. And you definitely know, because back then, people had very different beliefs about money, wealth, what's possible, etc. And they pass it on to you. Now, the next one is that a lot of the things that they share with you, they will keep you stuck forever. Why? Because if you have a small view of yourself, you have a bad view of wealth, then no matter how many opportunities I give you, you'll find a way to sabotage it. And so that is where you find yourself right now. 1.0, programmed by people around you. And therefore, a lot of things not working for you. I found myself in this situation many years ago also. I had all these opportunities, but I found a way to screw it up. Why? Because I was programmed by the people around me. By the way, if this makes sense, can you type yes in the chat? Like, you understand what I'm saying. Okay, because you already have a mindset now. Okay, so this is the situation. So what we need to do, and what I want to do with you, both in terms of this session and many other times when I see you, is right now you are no longer a baby. You are not a toddler. You are not even like 5-6 years old where you didn't have conscious thinking, where you could say, oh, sorry, I don't like this thinking. I reject. No, cannot. When you were a baby, a toddler, 5-6 years old, you just accepted everything because you weren't clever enough. But now when you are 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, you are a conscious adult. You can now look within the hard drive and ask yourself, do I want to keep this? Actually, this is not a good belief. I want to delete it. You can also install new beliefs that are helpful for your goals. Recreate winning beliefs, mindset, mental models that help you reach your goals. Because now you can take back control. It's like last time people run your hard drive. Now you run your own hard drive. And now when you run your own hard drive, you can decide whether you want to keep the belief or not, or you want to delete it. And then I call it 2.0. Can everyone type in the chat 2.0? So after you read me this session, and all the future things that we do, we are going to talk about 2.0. Why? Because 2.0 means I'm no longer a victim. I'm no longer subject to society, the government, my teacher, my parents, my environment, programming me with all sorts of weird beliefs. Now I am the computer administrator. I take back and I say, I don't want to delete this. I want to remove this. This is not useful. I want to take back control. And that's what we are here to do today. We can rewire. Can everyone type inside the chat? Rewire our own thinking. And that is critical. And in all the time that I spend with you, that is what I want to do to help you rewire your own thinking. So you are no longer subject to all the poor self-image, poor decision models, and bad attitudes towards wealth. We're going to make better decisions so you don't end up like my friend. Okay, actually, I know the fella, I think he's got a lot of potential, but he's really the king of making bad decisions. I also don't know how he was sitting on like a very good spot also. And now he's like 2 billion in debt. I mean, that's just sad. We just felt sad for him. Because he just in every business situation, there's always like here, this called best decision, and then the another spectrum is like worst decision. He like literally is the king of making the worst decision. And so when you do that, then you find yourself in a very bad space. Okay, and the last one is how you view yourself and what you believe is possible for you. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about wealth and money. I'll give you the idea of why some people struggle, and also give you some of the concepts on how we can take ourselves out of it. Remember, I wouldn't be able to change you today because my time, I'm very aware of the time. But if I had the opportunity within, I want to walk you through some of these exercises. You can reprogram yourself. So wealth and money, it is really, really critical. And I can tell you, most of us, we are brought up by people who might not have the best attitudes towards money. So this is my father. Funny enough, for about 4 or 5 years, I actually taught a wealth psychology class. And the reason I taught a class is it was a very passionate topic to me. Because my parents grew up with very weird, not very healthy beliefs about money. And they love to tell me that every single day. How many of you have parents that tell you, money are very hard to earn one, right? You must earn it with your own bare hands. Money don't drop from the sky. Okay, money don't grow on a tree. Okay, and the funniest one is they will say, you think I bring money? Yes or no? So if your parents have ever said this kind of thing to you, can you type me inside the chat? Okay, so the whole idea, the whole implication, right, is that money is very hard to earn. You know, investment is difficult, business is risky. Okay, you go and find a safe job, blah, 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 and they program you with this kind of beliefs. Type me inside the chat if you have heard of this kind of thing before. I cannot be the only one. Okay, type me, confirm have, right? So they program you with all these kind of money beliefs. Then when you're young, you cannot fight back. You're also not so clever, right? You haven't attended properly, haven't attended seminar yet. So whatever they say is correct. And so you start to believe these things. Now what happens when you start to believe these things? When you start to believe money is hard to make, investments are bad, business is difficult, rich people are greedy, money is evil, you have all these things. So these are called money repelling thoughts. When you have a lot of money repelling thoughts, but on another side, you want to attract a lot of money, this is now called a conflict. Can everyone type inside a chat? Conflict. It's all called conflict. Okay, so one side, I want to see this person. Another side, I really hate this person. I think he's a weirdo. Then I'm now in conflict. So energetically, right, I'm very weird. So if I put you in a situation where you can make money, the part of you that wants to make money, fantastic, will want to take action. Now the part of you that thinks that money is bad, greedy, money, it makes people greedy, blah, 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 they will pull you back. So now you one step forward, one step back, one step forward, one step back. You are now your worst, or your own worst enemy. Does that kind of make sense? Okay, so the way to sort all of these out, right, is hard. It's hard to get money if you think that money is evil and bad. And so the next question we have to do, and that's why I say I want even more time with you guys, is really to even explore these beliefs. Are they even true? Let's take a look also. Are they even true? So the first belief that a lot of people have, right? Rich people are greedy. Or like, when you meet a rich person, they are very greedy. I can tell you in my experience, 17 years around the world, there are rich people that are very nice. Then of course there are rich people that are greedy. There are also poor people that are very nice. And there are poor people that are greedy. So when you go run through all of these different things, you realize at the end of the day, you know what kind of people are greedy? Please write down. Greedy people are greedy. Nice people are nice. Nothing to do with money. Who agree? Type me in the chat if you agree. It has nothing to do with wealth or poverty. Some people know money is so greedy, right? Some rich people are greedy. Some rich people are very nice to me, right? And then some poor people are very nice to me. So it's got nothing to do with money. So you must evaluate and examine, is this belief even true? Now the next thing, a lot of people say, hey, you know what? When you have a lot of money, all you think about is money. When you don't have money, your life is very simple. Really? That's another belief that people have. Sometimes you see it in the movies also. I can tell you, as a person that when I first started my business, I was broke. When I was broke, what do you think I think about every single day? You imagine right now, let's say OCBC, 100K. Then every day they call you. When you don't have money, what is the only thing you think about every day? Please type in the chat. In fact, put a sign inside. Right? If you owe OCBC 100K now, what is the only thing? And it's not good debt, it's bad debt. Right? What do you think happened? They call you every day. then all you can think about is money. And it's not a good feeling to think every single day, right, just purely about money. The people that think the most about money, the most money-faced people are the people that don't have it. Now, in fact, I realized that when you have money, and I have money now, I don't think as much about money. Why? Because the fact that I have money means I got time to think about contribution, adding value to other people, blah, 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 blah. Because I'm not money stressed. So I started to realize that, hey, it's not true. It's not that when you have no money, your life is very simple. When you have no money, your life is not very good. You can only, every day you must think about money. How do I cover this? Then after I cover that, and you're very stressed. One of the chief reasons of having money is not just the fact that you can buy a lot of things. One of the chief reasons is peace of mind. Who agree? Type yes inside the chat. Peace of mind, freedom. These are the intangibles that is the value of money. It's not the fact that I can just buy like 20 watch, 30 car, etc. It's the fact that I don't have to think about this kind of thing. No money stress. I wake up already, I feel relaxed. That's the value. So evaluate the beliefs you have accordingly. Here's another one. People say, hey, you make money already. Money changed people. Last time he very nice one, right? But now he make money and now he changed already. Who has heard of this kind of saying before? Type me in the chat. You have heard of this before. Money changed people. A lot of TV show like that, right? You watch a Channel 8 Netflix show Last time when they no money, they very nice. Then after they have money, now they turn into a complete asshole. Now is it true? I tell you this. Completely not true. Money doesn't change people. In fact, money reveals. Can anyone type inside chat? Reveals. Show you their true color. You can type either reveal or true color, whichever you like. Okay, type inside reveal or true color. Whichever word you like more. Money reveal and show you people true color. Why? I tell you the simple reason. Let's suppose you have a colleague now. And the colleague is not a nice person. But he need the money. So every day he go to work, right? He cannot show his true color. But he show the true color already, then he cannot fire. So he wear mask, and then just pretend. Also, he want to do all the funny things, right? But he got no money to go and do it also. But let's suppose we deposit $5 million in his bank account now. Now, first of all, he doesn't need the job anymore also. And second of all, he now has the means to do all the weird things that he want to do. So, whatever stuff he do after he make money is the real person. Because now he has the power and ability to do whatever he wants. And so if after that, he starts to become a very generous person, a kind person, that's who he is. If he starts to go out there and do all the weird stuff, that's who he is. Money is power. And money gives people immediately the ability to do whatever they want right this very moment. And so whatever they choose to do with it tells you who they are. Does it make sense? Type yes inside the chat if it makes sense. If the person is an alcoholic, with money, he drink more alcohol. If the person is a womanizer, with alcohol, he womanize more. If the person is a greedy person or a gambler, with money, he gamble more. But if a person is an amazing person, a charitable person, then with money, he becomes more charitable. Money amplifies who you are. It reveals who you are. It doesn't change who you are. If that makes sense, type yes inside the chat. So as I go through, and these are just a small sample, that's why I said I need a bit longer time because I'm watching the time, right? As if we go through all of these things, you start to rewire your money belief. You start to think, yeah, true. I never examined my thoughts about this. By the way, is it important to rewire your money belief? Who has read this book before? Rich Dad Poor Dad. Type yes in the chat. You read this book before. I used to help out a lot at Success Resources. I used to be the copywriter for Success Resources. I met Robert Kiyosaki before, and of course, Robert is a student of my mentor Marshall Thurber and Buckminster Fuller. So I met him before, etc. Now, what do you think the whole Rich Dad Poor Dad is? Why do you think it is still a popular book today? If you read the book, right, it is nothing more than a money psychology rewiring book. Am I correct? If I'm correct, can you type yes inside the chat? It's a money psychology book. The book just basically tell you, here's how rich people think, here's how poor people think. Then you read the book already, you cannot brainwash in a good way. What do you think Rich Dad Poor Dad is? It's not an investment book. The Rich Dad Poor Dad is a money psychology rewiring book. And so a lot of people cannot program negatively by their parents' environment, right? Then they read the book already, then suddenly they free their mind. Then they're like, hey, it makes sense. Then they go and start investment. Then they go and start a business. Then they succeed. What is the proof? The proof is they always could do it. But what is the reason why they didn't succeed last time? Because the brain was full of shit. It's all the negative beliefs. But after they read the book, they cannot rewire it. Then they're like, oh, then they can succeed. That's exactly the only thing we're doing. It is proof that my concept is correct. The idea that money and wealth, if rewired wrongly, you fail. If rewired correctly, you succeed. My person that helped me rewire was not Kiyosaki. Okay, it was this guy called T.R. Eckel. I met before. I read his book. Right, I had a lot of negative ideas towards money and wealth. I read his book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and I met him also. And then I read that, I started to rewire my brain, and that was a big reason for my success. And when I met Marshall, he helped me rewire also. Success. And what do I do these days? Because these two gentlemen are very old already. I pass it on through a session like this, telling you, hey, here's my experience. I know what it's like to have bad beliefs, and I know what it's like to change it also. Does this make sense to people? If yes, can you type yes inside chat? Like this makes sense to you. And this is why I love more time definitely with you, because we can walk through all the negative ones you're programmed with, and then we can reprogram to the correct ones, which is what I essentially spent years and a lot of money learning from these guys also. Okay, but I gave you some examples just now. Now, the next one, which make up mindset also, is mental models and decision making. I think I told you just now already, we have a friend who make very bad decision. Okay, then we ask ourselves, and here's a great question. Do you think he consciously want to make bad decisions? Yes or no? You think first. Do you think you wake up every morning and say, hey, here's, I want to think of more ways to screw up my life today. Let's make the worst decision ever. Do you think he does that? Yes or no? Please type inside the chat. Yes or no? He don't. Nobody wants to screw up their life, right? Nobody wants to choose the wrong spouse, choose the wrong property, choose the wrong investment, meet the wrong person, leave a good thing for a bad thing. Nobody wants to do that, right? So why the hell does he do it? Why? Very simple. Okay. Our entire life, I love this Brian Tracy quote. Our life is the sum total of all the choices we make up to this present moment. So, all the choices you made in the past, you are living now, the effect, the result of those choices. If you like your bank account, you like your body and your health, you like the quality of your relationships, your quality of happiness is good, then all we can say is, hey, he or she has made some good choices in the past. Like right now, you are not enjoying a good health and a good body, you are in not a very good relationship, you are not happy and you don't have money, then all we can say is you have probably made some not very good choices in the past. And that's it. It's as simple as that. It doesn't mean that we're stuck here forever. If we make better choices now, our future will be better. But it just means that our life is a constant scorecard, a constant mirror, a constant reflection of all the choices we have made in the past. Good choices, good scorecard. Bad choices, bad scorecard. And so let's take a look at this thing. Every decision, every single day we have to make many decisions. A yes decision, a no decision, an ignore decision, a proceed decision. Who agrees that every day we have the potential to make a lot of decisions. In life, in property, in business, in finance, in relationship, in health. Every day we have to make a lot of decisions. 10, 20, 30, 40. If your decision making is good, your life is great. If your decision making sucks, then your life is not very good. So here's a great question. How do you make decisions? And here's an even better thing. Were we ever taught decision making in school? Yes or no? Did you ever attend school and had a decision making class? Hey, boys and girls, here is how to make good rational decisions. Were you ever taught that class? Yes or no? I wasn't. I wasn't. I didn't get a decision making mental model mentoring class. Nobody told me here's how you evaluate good and bad decisions. So it is proof that we went through the school system and we are uneducated in making decisions. Nobody teaches us. And it's little wonder why the majority of us make very bad decisions, because we literally don't. Now, the next thing you have to understand is we are not taught how to make good decisions. Now, are there people out there like marketers and salespeople and the people that want us to do things? Do they specialize in studying decision making so that they can adjust and manipulate how we make decisions, and so that they can make us do what they want? Yes or no? Type inside chat. Are there a lot of these kind of people around? Yes or no? Yes, there are a lot of these people around. So what happens when an uneducated person means a person who knows how to manipulate your emotions? Usually, not very good things happen. This is why most of us make bad decisions, because we don't know how to make decisions properly, and other people know how to talk and manipulate our emotions and then put us in a position where we are susceptible to making poor decisions. So today I'm going to talk this morning I'm going to talk a little bit about decision making models. And I think it's critical. If I have more time with you, I want to cover all of these things so you can make better decisions. So the first one, risk versus risky. What's the difference between the two? Or no, who thinks there's a difference between the two? Risk and risky. Type me in the chat if you think there's a difference. Okay, and Lisa, quickly. Okay, there is a difference between risk versus risky. What's the difference? Life fundamentally has risk. Every decision you have risk. We cannot promise tomorrow whether 100%, right? Things will happen. We never know. But if we take on risk, which means it goes south, but we can afford, that will be risk. Everything is risk, but we can afford, that's risk. Risky means what? Risky means we cannot afford. If I have $10, the upside is I make $1,000. But the downside is I lose $100. Would that be risk or risky? Please type inside the chat. Risk or risky? Upside, I make 1,000. Downside, I lose 100. But I only got 10. Would that be risk or risky? That one risky. Why? Because then some of you think, but no, I only make there's a chance to lose it. As a person who has done business before, there is a chance that you might lose it. But in this case, if I lose, I'm out 100. But I only got 10. That one not so good. And so the ability to evaluate risk is really critical. Why? Because as an entrepreneur, as an investor, you must be willing to look at the downside, not just the upside. Everyone you don't want to see how much money in the best case scenario they will make. But I can tell you in life, not always best case scenario, the worst case scenario. So the ability to cover that is a good decision. Unless you end up like my friend, he clearly saw only the upside, but never the downside. So there was a bad decision. Now he's in debt, and not in like good debt. The next one, delayed thinking and long-term thinking. Delayed gratification, long-term thinking versus instant gratification and short-term thinking. Now they gave the marshmallow test to some kids, and the kids who they simply told you can eat the marshmallow now, but if you actually delay gratification, you get more marshmallows. And so the kids that were able to delay gratification as a decision-making model and practice long-term thinking, they were the ones who eventually grew up and were much more prosperous than the people who chose instant gratification and short-term thinking. Why? Because is a decision good or bad? Well, in some cases, if you stretch it out long-term, some decisions are much better than some that look good now but then cost you long into the future. So we cannot evaluate whether a decision is good or bad unless we are thinking long-term or short-term. Some things are short-term gain are long-term pain. Some things short-term pain, long-term gain. So when you make a decision, how far do you think? Because that will then evaluate whether it is good or bad. Very important. Next one. Start right now wait until the perfect time. Some people have a decision making where they are always waiting the perfect time. But then there's never a perfect time. You're waiting for all the stars to align, never ever. Some people believe in the decision of starting right now, starting small and improving along the way. You can clearly see that there's two different ways of thinking, and some people will succeed because they already got started and they're adjusting, adapting. Some people will still be waiting long into the future. But it's a decision-making model. Next one. I want to stick with my circle of competence. I want to do what I'm strong at versus follow the crowd. Some people say, why you do this? I also don't know. I see everyone do. And clearly these two are examples of good versus bad decisions that will cause long into the future. I can go on and on. I have a whole bunch of these also. But I can tell you this, if your decision-making model is broken, which means you don't understand yourself, you copy other people, you take on risks that you cannot afford, etc., etc. And so every time there's a range, best decision all the way to worst decision, every decision you make is the worst, then it's very hard to succeed. Then no matter what you do, right, you poke a hole inside the bucket, everything will be drained out. The way to lose wealth is make very, very bad decisions, poor choices. Then whatever money you make is gone. Then you incur bad debt and just put yourself in a world of pain. That's what happens. When you make good decisions, then good things happen. I think that's really critical. So where do you learn also many of these? Some of the people in our lives are parents, the people around us. They were masters and specialists in making bad decisions. And so we observe and model them for a long time. Some of us stay at home. 365 days, we stay at home for 10, 15, 20 plus years. We watch these people, 365 times 20 is 7,300. We watch a bunch of people make poor decisions 7,300 times. And then we model some of this behavior. And no wonder we don't make very smart decisions. So this is very important. If I had more time with you guys, then I would love to dive into decision making and say, how exactly can we make good decisions, rational decisions, decisions that we don't look back and say, shit, what was I doing? Yeah, I regret it. How do you make good decisions? If you look at Charlie Munger, for example, or any great property investor, they all have a mental model, a way of thinking, of making decisions. Charlie Munger has a contrarian thinking, which means what? If everyone zig, you go and zag. Why? Because he says the law of the crowd is usually wrong. So if you see everyone chong one direction, be greedy when people are fearful, be fearful when people are greedy. That's contrarian thinking, the opposite of the law of the crowd. He has a very interesting mental model. Does it work? Well, the guy died, a multi-billionaire. So I guess that's one of his mental models is definitely correct. Who has heard of Charlie Munger before? Please type yes inside the chat if you have. So his entire way of thinking is very, very different. So all the people that are very successful, they have unique decision-making and mental models that are totally different than everybody else. If you learn these things, you make good decisions, and you can also make a lot of money. I've done this for a long time. He's a great guy, fantastic guy also. So he gave me this opportunity, this platform to come and help everybody here. But the last thing I want to cover, if I wrap up, is self-image. And self-image is really critical. Because when you look in the mirror every day, do you see a multi-millionaire to be? Or do you see a person who will struggle for the rest of your life? You look at this kitten here. Do you see a lion inside? Which means right now, you might not be where you want to be, but I'm going to get there. Or you look inside the mirror and say, I cannot, I think this is the best that I can do. As you go about your co-living and property investment journey, do you have confidence, certainty that you'll be financially free? Or you're like, actually, I don't know. I cross my finger. I see what will happen. I'm not sure. If it happen, it happen. If it don't, then okay. Your confidence or lack thereof, your certainty or lack thereof is an indication of whether you believe in yourself. It's very important. Now, the next one is, as you go on this journey, do you believe that it's luck? Or do you believe it's skill? Luck means, I make money because I pray to the right God. Skill means I actually know I deserve this money. So do you believe it's luck or skill? I think it's really important also. Because if you don't believe that it's possible for yourself, then you will not even take on the opportunity in the first place. I have witnessed countless times where people self-sabotage, right? Because they don't feel that it's possible for them. So it's not like they do it fail. It's they don't even do it because they think I cannot or I cannot want. And when that happens, right, that's the ultimate form of self-sabotage, inaction. You take yourself out of the game even before the game starts. Who knows what I'm talking about? Type yes in the chat if you understand what I'm talking about. That happens all the time. You look at a deal and say, this is not for me. I think maybe Ernie can do it, but I cannot want. I don't think can. So you self-sabotage. It's not like you do it fail. It's just that you don't even do it in the first place. Now, the next one is when I talk about the word reality. What do you accept as reality? I find this one a lot of Singaporeans that you tend to hear. Reality means, 就是这样的咯, this is the way life is law, and therefore, etc. As a person who has experienced the spectrum of life all the way from $800 a month, all the way to 6 figures a month, I can tell you there's no such thing as reality, because reality is plastic. I made anywhere from 800 when I didn't know what I was doing all the way to 6 figures. And it's a good 6 figures, right? It's not like 100K, it's like mid 6 in a month. And so I can tell you that there's no such thing as reality. As you grow yourself as a person, your reality expands. And you can do things that you never imagined before. You don't have to accept the common society reality that everyone needs to stay in HEB, everyone only makes a few $1,000s a month, everyone can only do this. Is nonsense. If I accepted that I won't make a mid 6 figure a month income. And I tell you that there's no such thing as reality. And you can expand it, you can contract it, you can adjust it. That's what reality is. When I first met Bill Allen, I was struggling back then. And today, and this was filmed last year, I made excellent money. I'm hanging out at his house worth $25 million. My reality has dramatically shifted. So your reality is not fixed. Your reality can be changed. If we change what happens over here, you see yourself differently. You believe in things that you can do. You can adjust your own reality, and 1, 2, 5 years from now, you might surprise yourself with the life that you're living. It can entirely change. And so the critical thing that I'm trying to get across to you is you've got to see yourself as successful. You've got to believe that it's possible for you, because if you don't, then you will do nothing with what you learn. And this is the number one reason why most people don't apply what they learn, because they don't think it's possible, so they just put it aside. Self-image must be reprogrammed. Reality must be recreated so that you can see yourself living the life you want. And by the way, do the top people do these things? Of course. Let's read up. Serena Williams, top tennis player. I always believe I can beat the best achiever. I always see myself in the top position. A person adjusts their reality. Michael Jordan, look me in the eyes. I have something more important than courage and patience. I will become what I know I am. Self-image. Conor McGregor, I visualize my imagination so clearly and so consistently as manifested into my reality. Reality, self-image. They see themselves as a winner. They see their reality as where they are succeeding, and therefore they do. So what kind of reality and self-image we want to program in our mind? That is very, very important. Okay, so who has found what I've shared so far useful? Can you type yes inside the chat? We are not yet done at Barcode. But if you have found it useful, you have learned a few things also. It's down to 2 things. The people that succeed have found a vehicle that fits them. The people that don't succeed because of a lack of self-awareness and self-understanding, they usually find, it's like fashion like that. They know self-awareness and no self-understanding, then they go and find the clothes that don't fit them. Then they look like cuckoo. So how do you look fashionable? Very simple. Understand yourself, be self-aware, know what works for you, then go and find clothes, or in this case, investment vehicle businesses that work well for you. That's the first key. Second one, the people that succeed, they have the right self-image and reality, they have the right decision-making, they have the right attitude towards wealth, that's why they succeed. And the ones that fail, poor wealth ideas, poor decision-making, and poor self-image also, among many other things also. Okay, so I covered these ideas with you. Now, here's the problem. The problem is these are great ideas. Very interesting Saturday morning talk, but not very useful to you. what would genuinely be useful to you is if you can reprogram your money attitudes, because that will be actually practically useful to you. You can reprogram your self-image. If you can reprogram your decision making, now that will be useful versus listen to me talk about this kind of concept. But yes, if you understand what I'm saying. Because listening to me talk about this concept don't mean that any change has happened. But if you can sit down and actually readjust these things, then that actually will help you also.